The Association of Equipment Manufacturers has a long and rich tradition spanning 130 years. During that time, only one woman has led the organization, Tanel. Now, Megan's had the job since early 2022, but she's worn numerous hats for AEM since becoming an intern in the mid-90s. Continuing our series on inspiring women in manufacturing, we sat down with Megan at ConExpo to discuss work, family, life, and all the positive changes she's making by being her true, authentic self.
So I have been with AEM for over 25 years, and I started as an intern and was hired when I graduated from college. And so this has kind of been the job and the life that I've known and my family has known forever. So I married Scott, my husband. We have 4 daughters. The oldest is in college. She's a sophomore. And then I have a high school senior and 2 in middle school.
Why AEM? I know you said you got in right after college, but...
I really stumbled into it. Okay, true story. This is a story. So I was dating a guy, and he played baseball with the former president, Dennis Slater. So he played baseball with his dad, who was friends with our former president. And so I'd go to the games, and then we'd all go to the bar afterwards, and I would talk to his dad and all his friends. And Dennis and I started to talk, and he said, "Oh, you're in college. Oh, your major. I majored in that. You know, would you be interested in an internship?" I said, "Sure, paid internship, absolutely." And I started working there, and I loved it. I loved the pace. I loved the trade show side of things. I loved the connecting with all the different people, and I was hooked. So for me, this is life. It's not a work-life balance, because work is part of life for anyone. Mm-hmm. And so this is how you balance your life. So I've never been shy about what I have going on at home, or what's going on. I've sacrificed things at home for my career, and I've probably sacrificed things in my career for things at home.
Women like you are leading the charge, and
women like you, Christy, are leading the charge. Come on now.
Making positive changes. What do you think we can do better to get younger women involved in our industry and help them learn about opportunities that they may not think our industry has?
I want to normalize that I'm here, that you're here, that whoever is here, no matter what demographic they represent, and that we don't have to necessarily point it out, because it just seems normal that it's happening. So how do we do that? We have to show up. We have to know that we belong at the table or in the room. We have to feel comfortable in the pictures. We have to feel comfortable sharing our stories or our viewpoint, writing articles, putting things out there on LinkedIn, whatever it might be. And just having conversations. If I walk into a room and there's all men and women, I make sure to introduce myself to everyone. Right. A lot of times they focus you towards the CEO or whatever, and you don't know who that person is, so let's not assume. Shake hands with everyone. Introduce yourself to everyone. There's something about just being authentic and humanizing, yourself and the people that you're with, and it seems like you can just build better relationships that way. We all have a home that we go to. We all have a life outside of here. So when you took back that curtain to realize that we were all human, I think it's made it easier. So I think now when you say, how do we bring it about, we're normalizing it. At AEM, we normalize it all the time. We talk about things if we need to. We encourage people through our flexible policies. If we want to find a workforce to fill all these open jobs we have, we're going to have to continue that way.
So, looking back, what advice would you give your 25-year-old self?
I think that I would tell myself to not worry about, specific milestones at specific times. That the timeline is mine to determine, and I don't have to fit into a predetermined schedule or box or whatever it is. I remember thinking about that. Oh, I got to get married and I got to start having kids because I'm going to be too old. And the transition, I was telling somebody else, a friend of mine, we were talking about my girls, and they said something about, oh, it's how great that they have you, this working, mom. And I said, well, I'm not raising them to be a mom or a wife. I'm just raising them to be women, and they can determine what they want to do. And I just think flipping that narrative a little bit can help make the difference, right, for our kids. You don't have to fit in the box that I think you should fit in because it's your life.
Well, leading a team and leading a family, there are a lot of similarities.
It's almost kind of sad how similar it is sometimes.
But they're your responsibility. And, when you're leading the helm, you want to make sure everybody's taken care of.
Yes, exactly. It's important. I think that empathy is important, and that, that thought about that we're all in this together. It's important. For me in the future, I'm going to continue to build up this team to focus on the united voice of the industry, find a balance as best I can with that, and keep a smile on my face, I guess.